I want us to forget about software for a minute and just in general think about how we could go about to create or develop anything out there. So if you really think about it, first of all, we need to have an idea, like what we want to create, what's missing out there in the market. What do you think people need? And think about what people might need in their daily lives maybe. So we want to really brainstorm about what we want to create. Then after having some basic idea, or after having found a niche market, we want to plan it. Like, what's the scope of our product? How much we want to cover? And what's beyond our scope? And basically go through a lot of discussions on how this product could evolve. And then we need to design it, of course. Then we will produce it. The production will start. After producing the product, we need to test it before selling it. Then we will simply deploy it. In other words, we will deliver it to our customers. Let's take a scenario of creating a new shoe style. Well, before, of course, creating a new shoe style, we need to think about what kind of style it could be. So for that, shoemakers have a bunch of different tools like wooden templates. After going through multiple designs, after showing it to some of the investors, some of the stakeholders, if they approve it, then we will start making it, of course. In the making process, a lot of people will be working on it. The making of the product is actually the longest process. Then actual product will be made, and at this time we could do some testing. We could make some of the employees wear it and they can try it, or maybe some other people outside of your organization, you could invite them to test the product. And if the end users like it, then we could start mass producing it and sell it to the market. Well, this is a very simple shoe making scenario. Now let's look at another scenario of creating a new software product. Well, we need to know that the software making process is totally the same as the process of making any other products out there. Just like the shoe making business that we had earlier. Think about it. If you want to create an app, what would be your first step? Well, I think we need to start from planning. What exactly do we want to create? And what's the target market for it? Are we creating this app for the millennials, or for elderly people, or for kids? So we need to understand our audience. And how much does it cost to start the business? Or is it even something that people would need or would want? Because we need to understand the market demand for it. If there's no demand, or if the app is not solving any problem, then there is no point of making it. What are the required resources to make the product? For example, what are the required skill sets? How big or small we want to build a team in the beginning? After going through the planning phase, for the second step, we could start designing the product. It doesn't have to be a final design. It could be kind of a prototype, just so that we have a visual representation to start with. And on the third step, we can start coding to make the app. And this is the longest step in the entire process, because it takes time, a lot of brainstorming, a lot of skills to code and create the app. On the fourth step, we shouldn't go ahead and sell our product right after development. So we need to test it and make sure it works as expected. It's like we're cooking a meal for a group of guests, and we need to taste the food ourselves first before serving it, just to make sure that it has the right amount of salt and other spices. And as you already know, you'll be learning testing in this bootcamp. After completing this bootcamp, you will be a professional and a proficient tester, both manual and automated. After completing our testing stage, at the fifth step, what do you think we'll do? Well, we will deploy it, or you can say release it. If you're a chef, then you will serve your food. Well, it might look like this is the last step, but actually it's not. This is not the end of it. What about the dishes after serving your food to your guests? Well, we need to wash them after the guests leave. Or what if one of the guests broke a glass on the table while eating? We need to clean that and replace the broken glass with a new one. So this is where our last step comes, which is maintenance. In this stage, we make sure that our product is serving its purpose to the clients. And if there's any problem from the client side, if the client finds any defects in our product, then we need to provide with a customer service. And you all know the rest of the story. I want you to go through all these 6 stages of a product development and compare it how any of the products could be developed. For example, previously we talked about a shoemaking process, and it is also pretty much the same steps. So we have planning, designing, making, testing, releasing, and maintenance. Doesn't matter it's a software or any other products that we are using in our daily lives, all of them go through these solid product making principles.